Aotearoa, New Zealand. A diverse landscape with stunning coastlines, majestic waterfalls and unique wildlife, as well as a rich cultural heritage. It's no wonder 3.8 million people visited our incredible country in 2019.
I want to acknowledge that in no time in New Zealand's history has a power like this been used. Protecting New Zealanders from COVID-19 is our number one priority. From 11:59 p.m. tonight, we will close our border to any non-residents and citizens attempting to travel here.
The announcement sent a shockwave of uncertainty and fear throughout the country. The economy, businesses and families faced an unprecedented threat to their livelihoods. One industry above all faced the greatest threat. Tourism, the lifeblood of New Zealand's economy and our largest export. Under 1 million people came to the country between January and March before the border closure, putting huge strain on businesses reliant on overseas visitors. Queenstown, a place often described as a tourist mecca, was devastated by the travel restrictions. Within a matter of weeks, going from one of the richest parts of the country to one of the poorest.
No one ever planned for the ignition key being turned off completely, and that's what happened here. We went from quite a busy period in February, March, to a week later, the place is empty, and I mean empty. It was like something out of, the living dead. And so massive impact on local businesses. Many people made redundant. There has been business failures. I'm not convinced we've seen the end of that. International tourism was worth 1.9 billion to our little district every year. Domestic tourism is about $1 billion a year. Now, lovely to see Kiwis here, but it won't compensate for that 1.9 billion. Things are really tough for local businesses at the present time. Most are concentrating on how they keep their nose above the financial water to stay in business until international markets return.
Without visitors coming in, tourism operators around the district were struggling.
So my name's Heather McDonald. My husband and I started Queenstown Wine Trail 28 years ago. Small family business here in Queenstown. It started with one vehicle, and over the years slowly employed 1 or 2 people, increased the vehicle fleet. So things were going pretty sweet, really. And they have changed since March 23rd. Yeah.
Before COVID, we were pretty much estimating around about 85% of our customer base was from international travellers and 15% domestic. So we didn't really expect much more than 15-20% maybe, and then to be running at sort of 50-55% was actually a really nice surprise. But it's still a long way off what we were doing last year, so it has been a few big changes for us. A few things, we've structured the tour slightly differently. We've managed staffing downwards, and we've put a few vehicles into storage and keeping a few back, and just tried to do the best we can with the numbers of people coming through.
I'm Ingrid and I'm from Stay of Queenstown. I opened in November 2019. Prior to COVID, it was good. The business was growing steadily and I was at about 70% capacity. After lockdown, when we came out of lockdown, it was at about 40% capacity, and then it slowly dropped off.
My view of tourism going forward post-COVID-19 is that we will see far fewer numbers travelling for a long period of time. In fact, I'm not even sure that 2018-19 will come back. We've set up a task force to look at how we diversify our income, but you can't change the economy of a district like that. It takes time. But we will do it, and we will gradually move into other forms of income for our district.
I think we're in a better position than a lot of other companies, small companies that we know of, and we've quite adaptable now to be able to just downscale or upscale depending on how busy we get. That was one of our first jobs going to lockdown, was just getting all our overhead expenses down as quickly as possible to the bare minimum. But we've got friends at smaller businesses that haven't really adapted. Like Heather's been telling me, people she's been talking to, some of them just really hoping it's all going to come back to how it was without actually making any changes. I think we've adapted quite quickly, and because we are smaller it's easier. We don't have to have board meetings or committee meetings. We can just discuss something and make a change there and then, and that's what you have to do in these times, I think, is just really be adaptable.
I've had to let my staff go, which was, they were very graceful about it, but it's tough. You're responsible for employing people and their livelihood, but obviously with lockdown and 100% cancellations, we have no income to sustain staff. And I know a lot of people who have been made redundant. Some of that's coming back, some of them still aren't working. It's affected a lot of people differently, but it has affected everyone.
Put yourself in the position of someone who's never been unemployed in their lives to suddenly saying, you're on the dole, you've got to go and apply for a benefit. And the psychological effect of doing that. Very, very concerned about the mental health of our district.
I don't think mental health has been addressed as strongly as it needs to. There's a lot of people that have still been affected by COVID and they need help. And I just think we need to advertise more where people can go to get that help.
With the mental health issues facing Queenstown, a plan to look after its people is underway.
Yeah, we're working very closely with the District Health Board. Got told some stories of folk wanting help and being told, yes, we'll put you on a waiting list and it'll be 6 weeks before somebody can see you. I've asked them to lift their game in that regard. We are working to ensure that the message gets out to folk that if they're concerned, do something about it.
The challenges facing tourism and the wider economy are far from over. However, many people are optimistic about the future.
You can't talk about what it was 5 years ago, and that's all past now and sorted, and we're all happy, and we can just move forward. It's no point looking at how it was, and it will build up again. You know, we're certainly on the right track. We're quite excited. I think some people that haven't really acknowledged this change find it hard, but we know it's changed, and yeah, it's onwards and upwards.
While we have difficulty at the present time because of what's happened out of COVID-19, people will come back to this place because you are in the most beautiful part of the world.